Good afternoon, everybody. I was asked by Ray and Donna to speak a little bit about what I've been going through with menopause while on Optavia. Not been a bad issue, but some things to be aware of. Certainly has been for me and very eye-opening as my body has changed. A little bit about me. My name is Amy Finetouch. I started the program the last week of October in 2018, and I'm down 38 pounds, feeling great. Previously, last April till June, I was actually on Weight Watchers and lost 24 pounds and kept it off. So my weight loss has been very good. And again, I'm feeling great. Now, a couple of things I want to share with you about what I have learned about my body and going through menopause while doing this. But a little bit more background first. I do have hypothyroidism and I do have polycystic ovarian syndrome. I currently have an IUD that helps with the PCOS. So that is something that I've had to take into consideration, and I'm working with my doctors. So ironically, after I lost the 24 pounds, let's call it late last spring, I had already been, I guess, quote unquote, in menopause, where I hadn't had bleeding for a couple of years. I had been past the hot flashes, so I thought I was in the clear. I started having heavy bleeding in June. So I had lost 24 pounds, kind of sailing through, trying to figure out how to keep going. And all of a sudden, for 2+ weeks, it was like I had a very heavy period. Called the doctor. They ran tests. They knew I was in menopause, all of that. So they felt like it was from the IUD and my body changing, the hormones changing, and it was just shedding extra layers there. So I went ahead and the reason I switched from the other plan to Optavia is because I had plateaued for many, many months and wasn't seeing any progress. So then I started with Optavia, and I am down, as I said, 38 pounds. I'm going to take credit for all of it. I'm down 38 pounds. Well, in December last year, I started heavy bleeding again. Once it went past 2 weeks, I called the doctor. They had me come in. Everything was fine. They felt like, again, it was the IUD, and it was the hormonal changes that my body was going through, which could have been from significant weight loss. So now that I'm thinking about it and going back over the time where I lost the first 24 pounds and then I lost, probably around December, I was down another 20 pounds or so. My body was going through regular changes and hormonal changes, as well as with my thyroid changes. So again, I, kept in contact with my doctors, going to the gynecologist. Every time they run hormonal tests, so just some blood work, and they make sure that nothing else has come to par, which has not. But other than the bleeding, and that has stopped, so I'm doing great. Maybe in another 20 pounds, I'll go through it again. I don't know, but right now I'm doing great. The one thing that I do want to bring to your attention is that some months, not every month, but I would say more than not, when I would have had a period in the past, I have fluctuations in my blood sugar. It reminded me of when I was pregnant, and just every once in a while, I felt like I was in a fog, I was in a bit of a haze, that my blood sugar, I couldn't really move. Like I just feel it was like a blood sugar drop, and doing everything I'm supposed to be doing with my fuelings. So what I started doing was making sure that around that time of the month, I would have some snacks with me. I didn't need a full fueling. I didn't need to change my schedule for the day, but just giving a little bit into my system was all I needed. Sometimes I would take a couple of almonds. Sometimes I would take the Laughing Cow Light wedge, just one. That was enough. I'm a big believer in the purposeful hydrations. So sometimes drinking that has been enough for me. So again, just being prepared that, around that time of the month, kind of keeping track and making sure I have something in my purse or in my pocket, just if I'm going out, that I can just snap in my mouth and be done with it. And that's all I've had to do. The doctors say this is all hormonal. It is just, that's what it is. So I guess we'll take some of this for me, I'm going to take a lot of this to just make sure the weight comes off and that I can keep it off. The other things, I'm staying in touch with my doctors, like I said, the gynecologist, but also my endocrinologist. My Synthroid has been reduced by 25 micrograms, which is a pretty big amount. And so right now I have a 3-month standing appointment with my endocrinologist, just making sure that we're decreasing as necessary, because that also plays a part in your hormones. So my gynecologist, my endocrinologist, they're staying very close to me, being very supportive, and I'm truly grateful for that. So other than that, I have not had any negative issues from menopause by being on program, but those things I'm not hearing with some of the people I keep in touch with my awesome coach, Donna Zuckerman. I'm not hearing that she has had some of those things, so I am attributing those blood sugar drops, the heavy bleeding at times, to some form of either being on menopause or the IUD that I have for the polycystic. But either way, I think it's just a normal hormone issue that we women just have fun with. So I think that's really all I have. I'm looking at some of the notes, but I don't see any specific questions. I will emphasize, I am not a doctor. I am not an expert in menopause. It's just something my body is going through, my body has been through, and these are the changes that I'm seeing. Again, I will take these little road bumps to get the rest of the weight off. I am happy to do it. Hopefully that when I get to my goal weight, that some of this will just kind of go by the wayside, because my body will be able to rebalance itself at the weight that I want to be at, and that's better for my body. I did have a quick question that came in. What advice do you have for other menopausal women wanting to get healthy and lose weight? I think that I'm adding negativity to my hormones when I keep weight on my body. So getting to a goal weight, getting to a healthy weight will help balance all of this out. I just think that you take a next step. I think that you listen to your body. If your body is doing things or telling you things that don't seem right, check with your coach, check with your doctors. But it's not the weight coming off that's the problem. It's the weight that's on that causes the issues. So I am looking forward to hopefully late spring being at my goal, being able to transition appropriately, and being able to just have a life that doesn't revolve around my weight, around my hormones, and more revolves around me just being healthy and happy and just being a part of life. But so many good things have come to me through this program. I was never a water drinker. I now drink between 100 and 120 ounces a day. It just is part of my daily routine now. It's not even that I have to think about it. I keep my water bottle and just drink, and that makes me feel good. And it just, everything that I'm doing for myself is exactly that. It's for myself, it's for my health, and my family is appreciating it because I have more energy, and I'm becoming a different person, and I'm becoming a person that is just very happy. So I wish you all the best. I will continue on my journey. Please send me a note if I can answer any questions. Again, I'm not a doctor, but I'm happy to listen, and I'm always happy to share my story. Thank you all.